Why is alcohol so readily available when it causes directly and indirectly so many deaths? Here's a really stupid question. Why is alcohol so readily available when it's claimed more lives than guns have? I must say I'm a little bitter about this because alcoholism runs rampant in my family. Yet I've been fortunate enough to dodge it. Alcohol is the single-handed most destructive drug out there. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy beer and wine myself and occasionally some spirits. But I've learned my limit and I know when to stop swinging the glasses right at the tipping point. When I feel like I'm about to turn violent. Because it's the oldest and prohibition just made crime worse. It doesn't just cause death, it also causes births. I think it might be because of the successful drinker versus dysfunctional alcoholic ratio. Pretty much every single person in history has drank. Yet some take it further than others. Think of how many of your friends drink. How many of them have a bad life? How many of your friends do heroin as consistently while maintaining a normal life? Most people don't get violent when they drink. That's something unique to you and those who give it a bad name. They shouldn't do it. When I get blackout, I tell all my friends I love them. Everyone who I surround myself with is a fun, happy drunk. Sad and sleepy drunk at worst. Not dangerous. Does drinking really make you feel violent? I usually just feel sleepy. Because it's impossible to ban. Because when we outlawed it, it became a bootleg commodity. Crime surrounding it skyrocketed, and very few stopped consuming it. 2 reasons. Banning it was worse than allowing it. It basically created organized crime. Humans drank more alcohol than water for most of history. Until we understood bacteria and how to purify water, alcohol was much safer to drink. Because of the millions of people who enjoy it every day without a problem. Should we also regulate sugar? Because that directly causes diabetes. You can't outlaw something because a percentage of the population struggles with it. Where would it end? It's so stupidly easy to make that it would be impossible to completely get rid of. It just takes yeast, sugar, and time. If you have to count drinks, if you get violent when you drink, or if your personality drastically changes under the influence, it's a good idea to abstain. Because prohibition never worked and humans have strong culture background with it. It also pairs well with food and could be counted as food also technically. So you will get it most places you get food from few other places. Because the majority of people use it responsibly. Where do you draw the line? Because if we're going to make dangerous things illegal or potentially abused things, then we're going to ban a lot of things. Like cars, which directly cause more deaths than alcohol. Many reasonable people draw the line at personal choice. And the gray areas are just accepted as an unfortunate reality. There is no single, clear solution for many problems. Check 1920s Prohibition US and you'll find out it only made the matter worse. Those who don't learn from history are doomed to repeat it. George Santaya. Why stop at alcohol? Let's stop people from eating high-fat foods. Let's eliminate any drinks that rot teeth. We must make laws to eliminate personal choice. Because people should have the freedom to decide what goes into their body. Prohibition failed. The war on drugs failed. It should all be legal. Drugs and alcohol. Just like cigarettes, there's profit to be made when someone can be easily addicted to it. Why the hell do you want the gov coming in telling you what you can and can't do? Someone once told me that if people truly understood what alcohol does to the would be illegal. Take that for what you will. Because many adults need to escape reality. Because it's not as bad as other drugs and adults should have the right to choose. It's literally what kept us alive and prosperous. Beer specifically allowed for shitty water to become not shitty water. Beer historically was the drink you drank all day to stay hydrated. Can't imagine a village of illiterate starving drunks forming the bones of society, but here we are. Keeping it illegal has turned out to be worse. Maybe go wiki the US prohibition and draw your own answer? Because money. Alcohol is very profitable. So many people like it, and for that reason it will always exist even if it's bad for you. Kinda like guns in the USA, unfortunately. Alcohol creation is arguably one of mankind's first feats. It predates all written language and is arguably why we started farming in the first place. Alcohol is available because it has been around for several thousand years and it has become part of our culture. They tried to get rid of it during Prohibition, but it didn't work. I agree it is a terrible scourge, but we seem to be stuck with it. Maybe one day they will find a cure for addiction. Could say the same thing about cars. Because the government was never supposed to tell sovereign adults what substances they can put in their bodies. Alcohol was just too popular when they tried to ban it. Marijuana prohibition took decades before it became basically a joke. I'm talking signs, billboards in certain places to get medical referrals to smoke weed. Alcohol prohibition was immediately a joke, combined with the fact that anyone can make it in their house with a jar and some fruit. It's simply not possible to ban it without having authoritarian control over the people. Because the world should not be made safe enough to accommodate the weakest among us. I mean, think of how many people are hurt or killed by cell phone use in cars. I feel like it's not the substance but the person. The real question is, why is any adult told what they can't put in their body? Absolutely everything should be legal. A free society shouldn't expect the government to protect them from themselves. They tried to outlaw it once. It didn't go over well. People just made their own. And criminal organizations started empires around supplying the good stuff. Ultimately, it proved impossible to effectively police, and the majority of people didn't want it banned. There is evidence that our relationship with alcohol goes back tens of millions of years. From before we even evolved into primates. That is a habit that is going to die hard. Lol, if alcohol makes you violent, that is a you problem. Most people are not like that. Same reason safest drug is illegal. $. Been around a long time. Easy to make at home. Prohibition doesn't work. Because making it illegal didn't work in the US or Canada. Why is money? It's a free country. If you want to buy cigs and alcohol and die young, it's your choice. Because we like it. Alcohol industry lobby. Why do phones allow you to text and drive when it causes so many deaths? In the US we tried to ban it with a constitutional amendment and couldn't stop people from drinking. Money. Follow the money is sadly always the answer. Last time we banned alcohol, crime went rampant. Really, if you ban something, everything is on the table for those who don't care for the law. Because people need some form of legal method for forgetting how shit their lives are. If only for a few hours. The ones that live have the hardest time. Watching someone's body be poisoned long term is awful. Even as teetotalers still carry the risk of organ failure due to our wonderful parents. Same as cigarettes. It's a $1 trillion business that won't shut down just because people are dying. They wrap it in marketing wrapping paper and sell it as a fun experience, and people just keep buying.